everybody, and welcome to Tuesday's spelling and handwriting lesson video. You've all been doing so well on Spelling Shed so far. Let's take a look together and see who's been going above and beyond with their practice.
As you know by now, your teacher sets you 10 spelling games to play each week with the weekly spellings. This week we've had some superstars who have already gone above and beyond those 10 games. Well done to Lily Ann in 4B, who has played 31 games on Spelling Shed, Betsy in 4M, who's played 12, Holly E in 4S, who's played 20, and Samuel in 4EP, who's played 14 out of 10 games so far already. Fantastic effort, you four. I'm going to give you all a dojo point for aspiration. Keep up the excellent Spelling Shed work, everybody. Our learning objective today is to practice and apply knowledge of the suffix "shun" that we looked at yesterday with Miss Bridgewater. So today we are going to recap the spelling rule we learnt yesterday and learn 2 spelling practice strategies to help us learn our spellings. Let's recap what we know already about the suffix "shun". Rule 1. If the root word ends in a D, you need to remove the D and add S-I-O-N. For example, in the word expand, you take off the D and you add S-I-O-N, which becomes expansion. Rule 2. If the root word ends in an S-E, you remove the S-E and add S-I-O-N. For example, in the word tense, take off the S-E, add S-I-O-N, and it becomes tension. Rule 3. If the root word ends in a D-E, you need to remove the D-E and add S-I-O-N. For example, in the word explode, which becomes explosion. Beware though, because there are some exceptions. Sometimes, if the root word ends in a D, you do take off the D, but you don't add S-I-O-N. You need to add T-I-O-N, which also makes the shun sound. Okay, so here are your spelling words for this week that you will have received on parent mail, and you also will be able to find them on your Spelling Shed. Our spelling words this week are explosion, erosion, provision, invasion, exclusion, tension, expansion, extension, and comprehension. Have a look at whatever group you are for how many spellings you need to learn. Let's have a go at the say it, shout it, whisper it, clap it, and act it approach to help us learn some of these words. Let's have a go at the word explosion together. We're going to say it, shout it, whisper it, clap it, and then you're going to have a go at acting it out yourselves. Okay, so let's say it together after 3. 1, 2, 3. Explosion. Let's shout it. Explosion! Let's whisper it. Explosion. Let's clap it. Explosion. Now it's your turn to have a go at acting it. How are you going to act out the word explosion? When you are acting out the words, if you are unsure of any of the meanings, you could use an online dictionary to look it up. Don't worry, phonics spellers, we haven't forgot about you. Here are your spelling words for this week. This week you're going to be looking at the OI sound, which is spelt with the O and an I. The O and the I come together to make the OI digraph. Let's read your words together. K, oi, n, coin. S, oi, ul, soil. N, oi, s, noise. T, oi, ul, et, toilet. And voice, voice. Have a go at saying, shouting, whispering, clapping, and acting out your words, phonics spellers. Okay, so now we've recapped our spelling rule and had a look at our spellings this week, let's look at some spelling practice strategies together. These are strategies that are going to help you learn your words. Today we are going to play Spelling Scribble and Spelling Scrabble. Okay, so our first activity to practice our spelling words this week is the Spelling Scribble. This is something you're all very familiar with as we do it at school to practice our spelling lots. So what you need is a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen and some different colour pencils or pens if you've got them as well. But don't worry if you've only got one pencil, that's absolutely fine. On your piece of paper, you need to create a doodle with lots of different squiggles, just like the one that you can see here. And then within all the gaps in your different colours, if you've got them, you can practice writing out your spelling words over and over again, checking each time that you're spelling the word and applying the rule correctly. Our second activity for you to have a go at to practice your spelling words this week is called Spelling Scrabble. In the game of Scrabble, letters are given a score. Each score is written on the letter tiles below. For example, A is 1, B is 3, C is 3, D is 2, and so on. Can you find the Scrabble score for each of your spelling words? As an extra challenge, can you put your spelling words in order from the highest scoring word to the lowest? I wonder what one of our spelling words has the highest score this week. So have a go now at both of those spelling strategies to practice your spelling this week. There will be a little test on Friday's spelling and handwriting video for you to have a go at to see how many you get right. So the more practice you do this week, the better you're going to do in your test. Well done, everybody.
Okay, now it's time for the handwriting section of our spelling and handwriting lesson today. We're going to do a little handwriting warm-up before we start. So for this, you just need a pencil, and this little handwriting warm-up is called walk and flip. So you need to start with the pencil in one of your hands, and you're going to start with your thumb on one side of the pencil and your other 4 fingers on the other side. And what you're going to do is just walk your fingers up the pencil, just like this. It's quite tricky, but keep persevering. When you get to the top, you're going to flip the pencil over and have another go. Walk your hands up. And what this is doing is helping to make your whole hand really strong and ready for handwriting. Once you've done about 3 in one hand, have a go with the other hand. Now, I don't write with my left hand, so this is going to be a little bit trickier, but it's really good to keep practicing this to make your hands nice and strong, ready for super duper handwriting. You also need to make sure you're in your super sitting positions for handwriting. So you need to make sure the 4 legs of your chair are on the table, on the floor. You need to tuck your chair right under, have a nice straight back. Keep your hands on the table with your pencil in your writing hand. If you need to lean over a little bit, that's absolutely fine. But make sure you keep your bottom and the legs of your chair and your feet firmly on the ground. When you've done this, you'll be all good to go. Okay, we're going to carry on with our curly caterpillar letters today. Yesterday, Miss Bridgewater took you through the C and the A, and you did some joins with the words cat and ace. So the next curly caterpillar letter we're going to look at is the D. So make sure you've got your pen or your pencil correctly held in your hand. And we're going to start on the line here. Remember, just like Miss Bridgewater said, if you don't have the right handwriting paper, that's fine. Just make sure your letters are all the same size and make sure you're forming them correctly. So the D has the same curl pattern as the C and the A. So we start in the middle of the line, we curl round just like that, and then you go all the way up because it's an ascender letter, all the way up, and you come back down again, and you do a little flick at the end, just like that. I'm going to have a go at another one here. Curl around, go up because it's an ascender, down to the bottom of the D, and a little flick. One more, around, up, down again, and a flick. All my Ds are exactly the same size. Now I'm going to show you some joins. I'm going to do the word dad, which includes a D and an A, which is a curly caterpillar letter as well. So we're going to keep our pen on the paper for the whole of this word. We're going to form our D exactly the same way. Up, down, flick, and then into the A, like Miss Bridgewater said, round, and then back on yourself again. Up, down, and then your little flick, which joins straight into the D. Back on yourself, just like you do with the A. Up, down, and flick. Have a go at that yourself. Okay, the next curly caterpillar letter we're going to look at is the G. So again, it follows exactly the same curl pattern as the other curly caterpillar letters. So get your pen ready again. We're going to start on the same lines that we've been starting on. I'm going to curl round, go back up and down, and all the way down to the bottom with a little flick. Going to have another go at this one. Curl around, up, down, and a flick. And one more, curl around to the left, up, down, flick. The G is a descender because this part of it goes all the way down to the bottom line under here. Again, don't worry if you don't have the handwriting lines, just practice on the paper that you've got. Make sure you're forming it correctly using the curly caterpillar pattern. Right, let's have a go at joining now. I'm going to have a go at the word go. So I'm going to start with my G and I'm going to curl round, up, down and flick. This time I do need to take my pen off the paper because we don't join out of the letter G. But the O is still part of the same word, so I don't want to leave a huge gap, but I don't want to join. So I'm just going to leave a tiny little gap and then form my O right next to it to form the word go. So remember, this is really important, you don't join out of the G. But if I wanted to write the word egg, I would join into the G. So you don't join out of the G, but you do join into it. Have a go at that by yourselves now at home. Thanks for watching your spelling and handwriting lesson today, everyone. Your next one will be available tomorrow morning. See you all soon.